So at the time of recording this, the Switch 2 has been out a little under a week, basically 6 days. And because of my old phone, I didn't get to record the unboxing video. I thought it was me, forgot to press record. Turns out I was totally wrong. The phone actually ran into a problem and it stopped. Yeah, that phone. It stopped recording halfway through, and it didn't save it anywhere. I scoured the SD card, which is where it saves videos. It didn't save it anywhere. So I now have a new phone because that one finally kicked the bucket. Obviously a phone is where I record all of my videos on. It's where I put all my messages, all my updates, all my announcements, all stuff like that. So a new phone was absolutely necessary. So today we are going to jump into this video. We are going to review the whole Switch 2 bundle, and we're going to list what's right and what's wrong about it. I'm also going to put my old phone on silent. That was meant to land on the bed. It hit the bed and then flew off the other side. Right, so let's actually get on with the video. We're going to put that aside because we don't need him here. We're going to start with the AC adapter. Now there's not much to say about this one. They've made it a detachable one, so the plug comes off the wire, which makes it easier for storage. The wire is also thinner, less durable. Love to see it. But yeah, decent AC adapter. Actually, the use of unplugging it from the plug has been so helpful, setting it up on my desk with my capture card, because I don't have to climb on my head. So for some reason my hay fever has just kicked in. So if I sneeze or sniff or cough or pick my nose, you'll know why. We're going to talk about the case. Obviously I did talk about this in the unboxing video because the camera decided to work then. What I like about this case is the bits on the zip. The little red and blue bits. I think that's a nice touch. So we unzip it here. It's got a little flap. You put 6 of your games and any other junk that you want in there. And then the Switch just sits nicely in there. Doesn't move about too much, which is, you know, what you want from a case. We zip him in. He moves a little bit. Can't really feel it moving much though. But yeah, seems like a durable case. I'm not going to bend it as hard as I can because I've seen people do that and they don't go back straight. Next up, we're going to talk about the Joy-Con accessories featuring the grip and the strap-on pieces. Don't take that out of context. Now we're going to talk about the grip first because I hate this grip so much. Obviously the Joy-Cons just snap to the sides like they do the Switch. You got your usual square controller, and I hate it. On the Switch 1, on the handles, they went round to the front. Obviously they couldn't do it here because the Joy-Cons have to slide in and out. But, it's just so horrible. It feels horrible to hold in your hands because there's a gap missing. And I don't like it, not at all. If someone can make a better grip than that for these, hit me up, because to be fair, I just play with a Pro Controller anyway. So, the strap-ons. Don't take that out of context. So obviously these aren't magnetic. They're actually made out of fiberglass, I believe. Little bits of fiberglass. And they're quite sturdy. I'm not gonna break it, but how they work is they've got a little clip at the bottom and a little clip at the top. You put the bottom one on first, clip it in at the top. That's all it is. Now not only do these work as wrist straps, which I don't use ever, except as a helicopter, because that's fun. But what they also do, and what I've been using them for, they make it less likely to tip over when you use the mouse controls. If you've just got the Joy-Con like that, there's a gap where it can fall over. But if you've got your strap on, less likely to tip over, and actually it makes it easier to use as well. It's really loud. But I really like these. I think they actually feel nice compared to the Switch 1 strap-ons. I also like how they made them blue and red. You know, nice touch. We will get to the fun stuff in a minute. But next up, we're going to talk about the Pro Controller. Now the only way at the moment you can tell which one is which, you can see the little grey stubs on the Switch Pro Controller too. This one is covered in dust because it's been sitting on my desk for a week. So what Nintendo have done with this Pro Controller is they have took a controller that seemingly had nothing wrong with it, and they fixed everything that was wrong with it, which I didn't know there was anything wrong with it. But obviously it's the same shape, same style, it still feels really nice to hold, but because of the plastic they've made it of, it feels even nicer to use. I really like this controller. Obviously they've added the C button, which we will get round to in a minute. They've made the top grey instead of the black that the original was. They've added the headphone port at the bottom and the programmable back buttons, which I've used once for the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and I will not be using them again because I don't like back buttons. So if I just compare them, I've probably got B-roll of this anyway, but you can see this one is made of a lot smoother plastic than this one. It's a lot easier to hold, a lot comfier, it doesn't feel as hard on your hands and it doesn't get as cold. It sounds stupid, but you don't want to be picking up a controller and it's stone cold. But I really like this one, considering the Switch 1 Pro controller was my favourite controller I've ever used. Somehow this managed to top it. I didn't think it would, but I absolutely love this controller, and it's probably now my favourite controller that I've used. Sorry Switch 1 Pro controller, you've been demoted. Now we get around to the fun stuff. And that's where this guy comes in. So before we actually talk about the Switch, because that's like the most that we can say about in this video, that's the thing we're going to talk about the most. We're going to talk about the dock. Obviously more sleek design, they've made it rounded. A, it looks cool. B, the actual reason they've made it rounded is so it's easier to get the Joy-Cons off. Because if it was a square dock, that would have got in the way of the buttons and it would have been very hard to get the Joy-Con off. Obviously you got your Switch 2 logo, you've got your TV Lite logo, all the basic stuff on the original Switch dock. But obviously this is a more powerful dock, it's powering more. So what they've done is they've added holes in the bottom so air can get in, it then pushes that air upwards and releases all of the hot air that's being built up in the back of this thing. Obviously you can't see what's going on inside the dock, I'm not really sure I want to see what's going on inside the dock because that would be confusing. But you have your AC adapter, your HDMI output, and your LAN. Switch 1 had AC adapter, USB, and then HDMI. I've used the LAN once on this thing, and that was to finish up the download of Mario Kart World a bit quicker because I was eager to play it. As a dock, it's really nice. People have been complaining about this little door. I don't see the problem. It is the only time I have a problem with it is when I'm on my desk trying to plug something in because it's a tight squeeze, but that's not the dock's fault, that's the desk's fault. Obviously it's a nice shiny plastic on the front here, so it's not likely to scratch your Switch screen. it all works the same as what the original dock did, which is really cool. I like it. And you got your 2 USB ports on the side. Gotta love it. So now we get around to the main feature. I just want to talk about the price of all of this. The console, I think the price of the console is fine. Obviously, I'm in the UK, so it's a bit different to Americans' currency. American had to pay like $500, I believe. But I honestly, in the UK, I think this was a decent price. So I got it with the Mario Kart World bundle, the download code. That cost me £430. Considering that I got like 30 quid off the game, the console itself is only like 380 or 90. That's not bad. Considering Switch 1 was $279.99. All of the stuff they've added to this, they've obviously made it run quicker. They've got better screen, better hardware, all that sort of stuff, and not to mention like the mouse controls that they've added, the new USB port as well. All of the stuff that they've added, and it's only £100 more than the original Switch. Now I think that's a decent price. What I don't think is a decent price is the accessories and the games. No way in hell should a controller be more than a game. Not at all. To be fair, games shouldn't be as expensive as they are either. Now Mario Kart World, if you buy it on its own, it's around 70 quid. Yeah, that's why I went for the bundle. Saved like 35 quid. The Pro Controller though was £75. Now if I didn't have YouTube, I probably wouldn't have got this. I'd have just stuck with this. But I really wanted to review this. I wanted to obviously show you guys it. I wanted to unbox it as well. I didn't really get to do that because of my phone. But it's a good controller. It's not worth 75 quid though, not at all. So now that I've finished ranting about the price, let's actually talk about this guy. Obviously the new gimmick for the Joy-Cons, they're magnetic. They just clip in and out, which makes it easier to use as well, which is really cool. In handheld mode, it's lovely. I really like holding this thing. I think it is so much comfier than the Switch 1. The Switch 1 was obviously a lot smaller than the Switch 2. Let me just compare sizes. So yeah, it was a lot smaller than the Switch 2. The screen itself is 1.7 inches bigger on the Switch 2. So if I compare screen size, you'll be able to see it a bit clearer. So that's the screen difference. And then the Joy-Con difference is quite a lot as well. They've made these Joy-Cons quite a bit bigger, which I like. They've also made the Joy-Con 2s rounded on the edge instead of square like the original Joy-Cons were. I thought that made this really uncomfortable to hold, especially in handheld mode, because it's a small thing anyway. I always got cramp in my hands. I'm getting cramp holding it right now. But with the Switch 2, that doesn't happen. If I'm holding it in handheld mode, it feels nice to hold. I don't get cramp. It doesn't really dig in to my hands anywhere. It's a nice, comfortable fit in my hand. Obviously, I've not got the hugest hands anyway. So I think handheld mode is brilliant. Tabletop mode, on the other hand, if you're playing it with dual Joy-Cons. They're still not the comfiest things to hold on their own. It's comfier than the Switch 1. That's not hard, but it's still not comfy. I do really like these sticks though, just thinking about it, these sticks are really nice. There's not really any snag to it. They just go round and round and obviously snap back to the center. I think that's really nice. Now the only thing that's going to help these Joy-Cons when you're holding them singularly is putting the straps on. It feels a bit better. Yeah. And you can use them as mousers. Mice. Mooses. Now obviously the Joy-Cons, they snap off of the console because when you press this button, a little rod comes out and it pushes it away from the console just enough that you can then pull it out, which is honestly a really cool design. I thought that was really cool as soon as I first done it last Thursday. I thought it was really fun. Another new feature that they've done with the Joy-Cons is they made the SL and SR buttons a lot bigger. Unlike the Joy-Con 1, where we had these tiny little nubs and we couldn't really do nothing with them, these ones are a lot bigger, a lot easier to press as well. Another cool thing they've added is when you're using mouse controls, the main button you're going to be pressing is R. Now, if you tried that on a Joy-Con 1, it might be a bit harder to reach the R button. So what they've done is they've actually curved it round the corner of the controller a lot more, so it's easier to press. They've also added 2 pressure points to it, so one there on the side and then one on the top, which I think is really cool. And that brings us to the next thing that we're going to talk about, and that is mouse control. Now the cool thing is, obviously with the newest feature being mouse controls, is you can use it on the home menu, which I thought was really cool. I haven't really done it much, to be honest, but I still think it's cool. What is that? Oh, that's Pokemon Unite. Oh. But yeah, I think the mouse controls are a clever design. Obviously you can do it with both Joy-Cons. So if you're left-handed, there you go. There's your left-handed mouse. The main game that I've used mouse controls on at the moment is Switch 2 Welcome Tour. There are a lot of mini games on that use mouse controls. Obviously I've been connecting my strap on. Don't take that out of context because it's been easier to use, and it's got these little feet to it as well. These little black feet on the top and bottom, which I got really itchy nose, which make it a lot easier to use. Now obviously we have a bigger screen. We also have a more high quality screen. Now this is 1080p, I believe. Maybe. I'm pretty sure this is a 1080p screen. It can run up to 120 FPS. Now the only time I've seen that is on the Switch 2 Welcome Tour demo, which was fun. Now if I played a game on Twitch that's 120 FPS on here, you guys wouldn't be able to see it anyway, because Twitch only goes up to 60 FPS. How stupid is that? It is really cool that they added 120 FPS to this thing. Obviously in TV mode you've got the choice of 4K mode and HDR as well, DRS. I'm not really sure what DRS is. I can't use DRS or 4K mode because my TV doesn't allow it, which is sad. And I did try it on the big TV downstairs. That's an old TV and that doesn't have 4K either. But one day I'll get a TV that's 4K just to run all my favourite games. The other main game that I've been using mouse controls for is Fortnite. I know. Now I said once I would never install Fortnite again because it is one of the biggest steaming piles of turd that I've ever seen. Mouse controls on the Switch 2 changed that. I thought it was really fun. It's still not my favourite game to play, but it was really fun aiming with the mouse controls. I did enjoy that. I had a lot of fun. I actually found it easier to play than with the control stick as well, because that was a pain in the bum. Of course, the other main feature that they added to this console was Game Chat, which you can get to either this orange icon on the screen or by pressing the newly added C button. Now I'm going to create a chat with my second account because it's easier. It says joining the chat. And there you go. Now me and my friend Adam Hamez, we did try this. We thought the mics were awful, to be honest. I didn't like it at all. It sounded really like blurry, really pixelated. Didn't like it. But what I do like is this guy right here. So you can get it comes with a different cord, so you can attach it in tabletop mode or TV mode. But in handheld mode, you can also take it out of the pot. You can plug it straight in, and then you can go at the settings, turn on your camera. So at the moment it's capturing me. I'm actually going to plug it in the other way for a second. Oh, I forget it's in full zoom because I was mucking about with it, wasn't I? There you go. Hello. So it's not the best quality camera. Obviously the Piranha Plant one by Hori is 480p, which isn't great, but it's still fun. I was using Lipcam when I played Mario Kart World the other day with Adam, and I tell you what, that was the most fun I've had with a camera. Obviously this is how it would work in handheld mode. So you would plug it in the right way round for a start, and snap the Joy-Cons onto the side, and there you go. You probably can't see it, but I can see you guys. And you can get, obviously it has automatic green screen filter, which is really bad. It's really like buggy and pixelated. Face only view, which puts your face in a circle, which is really bad. But I found this camera to be a lot of fun. Obviously it's a cool gimmick that they added, but if you're smart enough, just use Discord. Yeah, Discord is the way to go. If you share your game screen on Game Chat, it runs at like 6 FPS, which really isn't great. All in all, it is a fantastic console, and it is now my favourite console of all time, taking over the position of the Switch. Now, that was my favourite console of all time up until last Thursday when this thing arrived. My second favourite console now is not the Switch, it's the PS4, so I've had a lot of fun on the PS4. But the Switch 2 is now number 1 on that list. It's so much fun. I love playing it in handheld mode. The screen looks fantastic. Mario Kart World, the launch game it came with, is fantastic. I do really love that. I probably had other things that I wanted to talk about. I don't remember. Oh, also the kickstand. That's one thing. So you can see the kickstand is this big long bar now, which you can also use as a handle, but it's honestly so much sturdier than the Switch 1 kickstand. Obviously Switch 1 had that tiny little flap. Mine snapped off. I had to blue tack it back on, and I only kept it on there, A, because it felt horrible feeling the gap, B, to protect the SD card that was in my Switch. But this one is honestly so much better. It's so much more durable. It takes a lot of I wouldn't say it's hard to move, but it's harder to move than the Switch 1 kickstand. Obviously you can have it at any angle up to around 110 degrees, I believe, or 100, I don't remember, but something like that. Might have been 145, I don't know. But it is honestly really nice kickstand. It's a lovely console. I love the plastic that it is made out of. I did get myself a screen protector because I don't trust myself. But yeah, it's a nice console. Was it worth the money? Absolutely. Was this worth the money? Probably not. 75 quid. Was this worth the money? For the camera quality, no. For the and giggles, yes. Was the game worth the money? Mario Kart World is a fantastic game and I have really enjoyed it so far. I wouldn't say it is worth 70 quid, whatever it was. Not at all. I am waiting for DK to release in July. I have that on pre-order as well. I will be streaming it on release day live over on Twitch, so if you want to check that out, go check that out, link in the description. But that is going to wrap up this video, I think. Also, you might notice, if I can move my chair, there you go, you might notice I'm running out of room on my Nintendo shelf. Obviously you can't see it properly. At the top we have all my DS games. I had to move my GameCube and my PC games as well from this shelf, because this shelf was getting too full up. Which it is again, because I'm getting DK in July. I have Minecraft for PS4 in the mail. That will be arriving at some point. So I'm not going to fit many more games on the shelf. We have all my consoles, all my amiibos, and the Sega Mega Drive 2, all my collectible stuff, and then all my plushies at the bottom. What I'm planning to do is get one of those tall, thin CD storage shelves, or DVD. I think they're for CDs and DVDs, but I will put my games on them. I will move this wardrobe up and I'll wedge it in between the shelf and the wardrobe. But yeah, I'm not sure when I'll be getting one of them. We'll have to wait and see for that one. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling because this video is already 33.5 minutes long. God damn, how have I talked for 33.5 minutes long? That is crazy. But yeah, I would recommend picking one of these up if you can afford it. It is a lot of fun. It will probably change your handheld gaming experience forever. But yeah, my chair just done the loudest squeak I think it has ever done. Also, I like this camera quality compared to the old camera. It's a lot better. But yeah, I'm going to get this video edited and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.